All right, I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to tell you all this story, but I want to do an update on these acoustic guitars I've been working on, as well as stay tuned for information on how you can own that guitar. I'm going to give it away. Regular viewers of my channel know that I make guitars from reclaimed, locally sourced, sustainable materials, and I like to sort of stir the hornet's nest a little bit on some of the misconceptions or preconceptions that we have about guitar making and wood. And so lately I've been trying to push that from electric guitars into acoustic guitars. I've been making these acoustic guitars from closet doors. This is not new to me. I've been making acoustic guitars from closet doors for a long time, but I'm starting to get better at it. The idea with this particular design that I'm working on is to make a hybrid acoustic guitar. That means that, you know, you can plug it in and play it like a lot of acoustic guitars, but I also wanted to have a magnetic pickup on it because I'm not a huge fan of piezo pickups, but I know some people really like them and rely on them, so I want to do a mixture of both. I also want it to be a fully acoustic guitar you can sit and play unplugged and have it sound good, but also plug it in and use it. And it doesn't need to be too thick. You know, so that's what we're getting at, and that's what I've been working on. Previous videos show these first two here was the first batch I made, and this one is all closet door, and then this one is closet door with a reclaimed cedar fence top. There are some different dimensions and some different choices that I made on here as I'm experimenting and getting closer, and they both work out pretty good. This one I went and I strapped just an electromagnetic pickup, one of my $2 bill foils that I sell, onto it and plugged it in. I thought it sounded pretty good. This one is still just 100% acoustic. Get to numbers 3 and 4, where I'm developing the thin line body a little more and adding electronics to it by design, not just putting them on after the fact. First, for the audio nerds, I'm not getting too carried away with the recordings right now. I'm just using a Rode condenser mic that's plugged directly into my camera. Just get in the room. And now let's talk about some of the differences between the second version and the first version. The main difference is I put this little adjustable neck pin here. So now I'm making a bolt-on design like an electric guitar, and I wanted to be able to adjust the cant, the angle of the neck. And so I thought by putting this little spot here, that would be a nice, easy way to do it. And so far, it works great. I do have some changes that I want to make to this area still, but we're getting closer, and I like the way it's working. And also, this entire body is made from closet doors. All the bracing, the whole sides, back, everything's all reclaimed Luan plywood from closet doors, and the neck and fingerboard are locally sourced maple. So this thing's pretty squeaky green. I did put a shellac finish on it this time, and a lot of people talk about shellac finish as being a pretty eco-friendly finish because it's made from basically bug spit, the lac bug in India. I'm not a huge fan of the footprint of it because it is mixed with alcohol, so it is actually a fairly high VOC product, although it is better than a lot of like lacquers and other type of stuff that are on the market. It's very easy to use and very nice to work with. I do really enjoy working with it. And there's also some questions about the treatment of the people that collect this. Not my favorite, but I'm experimenting with some finishes and trying to find the best solution for this guitar. It feels great. I like the look of it. I use like an amber tinted one, so we got this kind of vintage vibe going on. And then on these two instruments that I just made, I did not put any binding on them. I just did a straight glue. And I know that binding does add some structure to that joint and kind of keeps the top from separating and stuff, but I thought I would just paint it this time and see how it holds up. I want to kind of run these things through the ringer a little bit. So on this one, because I'm still having some issues with the the doors, you know, flaking and chipping, and I will make these out of real wood eventually, but I really want to push the doors as far as I can. So, you know, I get some ugly things happen with this sort of chintzy plywood, and I thought the paint would sort of help cover that a little bit and give it a cool look. On this one I used the Stuart Semple Black 3.0, but I did brush it a little bit with a Scotch-Brite, so it did take away some of that just like matte black look to it, and it looks a little more like a typical black paint. Both of these have a Fishman system in them that has a small microphone in it as well as a piezo underneath the bridge. So it has all like the typical types of things that you would look for. There's your battery. It's got the tuner built in, end pin jack. Works great. But like I said, I don't necessarily like piezos, so I added a magnetic pickup, and I'm still experimenting with that too. I wanted to mess around with a few different design pickups that I make. I strapped my $2 billfoil pickup on the front because that is designed to be a surface mount pickup that you can add to any guitar. For this guitar, I put my dump diver pickup, which is also a surface mount pickup that would fit on most guitars. On the acoustic guitar, the strings are a little too close to the body, but it does work right inside the sound hole like that, as you can see. And this is not what the dump divers that are for sale at New Perspectives Music look like. They're all made with wood tops now. I just used this old prototype one. I mounted it in the front of the sound hole first. You'll see there's those two little holes there. And then I moved it. I like the position it's in now a little bit better. This guitar is all made exactly the same from the same materials, except for I did a soy sauce green paint on the side. This is my custom green color that I designed with my friends over at Total Boat, and I used the Total Boat Elixir paint to do it. And I put a different pickup on it. On this one, I put my Ukrainian rail pickup right in the neck position, and I had to do a little bit of routing to put that in there. But I have the whole piezo system wired to one side of this switch. The other side is the magnetic pickup, and then the middle is, of course, both. But these are passive, and this is active, and then so this passive one has its own volume tone. Basically, it's like switching from one guitar to another, and that works fine. But what I might experiment with in the future is putting a active magnetic pickup in, so then I could then tie it into these controls and just have a switch here that switches between this and the piezo, but then all of these controls would work for both. So that's something I'm going to look into in the future. I like how both these guitars feel like an electric guitar. A lot of things about the neck, it's just a couple frets shy, but you have that full access. The action and the setup on it is very electric neck-like. You have all that accessibility up here. But then it also feels like an acoustic because you got that little bit thicker body, but you don't feel like you're strumming some jumbo guitar. It's just, I really think it is a pretty good hybrid size, and as you can hear, it's not the best sounding acoustic guitar in the world, but it's made of closet doors. It's wicked thin and light and comfortable to play. Has all sorts of versatility plugging in, and it does work like an acoustic guitar like this. But so now let's talk about plugging them in. Okay, so now we have them plugged in. I have, this is the one with the dump diver, and we can hear just that dump diver pickup. And we switch to piezo. Microphone. And we of course have all the fine tuning that you're used to with these types of piezo systems, and then we can also get both. Let's hear the other one. The microphone is kind of messed up on this one. I'm going to contact the seller and see if I can get that taken care of. I'm using my old trusty Ampeg Reverber Rocket here. It's like a 110, I think, or a 112. Tube amp from like the 90s, nothing special. This is the Ukrainian rail in the neck position on this one, and then the same Fishman. And of course you can hit the mute button to tune it, so you can have it muted back here, or you can hear yourself while you tune if you want. So you have a lot more versatility and a lot more things you can do with this than most acoustic guitars on the market. And it's made sustainably and eco-consciously by me in Connecticut. But right now I'm using this kind of cool guitar amp, and so as most electric players know, a lot of times when you listen to a guitar through an amplifier, you're mostly listening to the amplifier. Most guys that I know that are out there singer-songwriting with acoustic guitars are just plugging directly into PA systems. So let's plug it into that. This is a QSC powered speaker, and if you're playing your guitar plugged directly into a PA system, you'd of course probably have some kind of outboard effects or whatever. And you probably have an actual board with channels that you can control the EQ and the reverb and stuff. But I thought to really put this guitar at its absolute worst plugged in, we would just plug it directly into the speaker flat and see what it sounds like. Start with the magnetic pickup. You can see the magnetic pickup does not sound good here, but you, of course, would be plugged into a board, into a sound system, and EQ it and whatnot, add some reverb, all that. But this is why people like piezos, because now you can see just plugging straight into a speaker and this thing sounds fantastic because you have all these onboard EQs and it's active and whatnot, which is why I think if we make this magnetic pickup active and I can use that stuff, then we could really have this to where you could plug it into just about anything and get that great sound. This is the Ukrainian rail. Again, sounds real flat, right? And then with the piezo, you can make it sound like it's going to sound just about anywhere. So while I still have a few changes I want to make, I'm pretty close to making what I think is the ultimate acoustic electric guitar for the working class musician, made sustainably and locally and all that stuff. But I'm the guy that made it, and I'm just sitting here in my workshop playing it. So if I really want to see what this guitar can and can't do and help develop the process, I need to get them out in the hands of some people that are going to actually use them and tell me what they like and don't like about them. So I'm going to call on a couple of my local friends to help me out with these things and get them to actually go out and work with them and then report back to me. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. But we still have version 1 here to discuss and how I'm going to give this one away. If you've been following the story since the beginning, when I made these first 2 guitars, this one being the jumbo body with the reclaimed cedar fence top, I said I wanted to give one of them away, and this is the one I want to give away. And I asked for some suggestions. One of the things I thought about was doing a raffle, and as some of you pointed out, and I learned through my own research, is that I can't just do a raffle. There's all sorts of legality issues you have to deal with that. In the past, I've done eBay auctions, and that always works, but I don't like that because that sort of just means the person with the most money can win, right? I want to level the playing field a little bit. And so while I can't do a raffle, what I can do is I can just give this away. So what I've decided to do is, I've done this in the past too, I'm going to give this away to my Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/TimSway. If you are already there, you're already entered into this giveaway. And if you're not there, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/TimSway for as little as $3 a month. And if you time it right, you could join my Patreon and you could be out all in the course of that month and only pay the $3 fee to join patreon.com/timsway and be eligible to win this guitar. Of course, we would love for you to stick around, but it's not required. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it in the month of February. There should be some dates on the screen, and you can read the description. So if you want an opportunity to own this guitar for as little as $3, all you have to do is join patreon.com/timsway, and you'll be automatically entered into my Patreon-only giveaway. I forgot to mention this about the Patreon competition. I'm going to only pick winners from the United States. I'm sorry, but I just can't ship this thing overseas. You're still welcome to join, but you're not going to be eligible for the giveaway. Sorry, guys. Thanks for coming along on my acoustic guitar journey with me. I hope you find it entertaining, at least, if not maybe a little bit inspirational, educational. But if you don't find any of those, you probably are not watching anymore. And please stick around. I have some other acoustic guitar stuff that I'm working on, as well as other just projects in general I'm working on that I'll be sharing here. I have this one acoustic I'm working on right there that I'm really excited to share with you. And I'm also planning on making some bass style versions of these, very close to having this product ready to start taking orders. I just really want to have these friends of mine put them through the paces for a little while and see how they do in this real world situation. And these guys that I'm giving these guitars to, I trust to thoroughly take poor care of them and not treat them with respect. So that is exactly what I want. I want these things to get used and abused and see how well they fare. And I'll have some content about that, but it's going to take a little while because I really want to give these guys a chance to play these things, you know, and see what happens. And again, thank you very much for following along, and don't forget to join over at patreon.com/timsway for an opportunity to get this guitar in a giveaway. Or not.